bring value, and know your audience is build trust, right? So I think for me, man, it's just a matter of being consistent, being creative. It's like sometimes I get stuck with like, what am I going to post? What am I going to post? It's like, just try and be yourself. And I think that's something, honestly, Ryan, when you and I first connected, I've learned a lot from you on that end. It's like, you don't have to have the perfect post, the perfect thing, but just go out there and see how you can try and relate to people. And then they have something you can help them with. And they're like, hey, this guy's like a real person and he's not just trying to sell me something. It's so valuable. That's something also I've learned since I came to this role. When you're reaching out to people, very short, very straight to the point. What can you help them with? And what's the problem that you're solving? Sometimes like I get emails or even when I connect with advisors, they have this like automated, like very like huge kind of paragraph. I'm like, hey, this is what I do. And are you ready to roll over your 401k? I'm like, wait, what? Like I just met you, right? So I think it's a matter of like being personal, being yourself, having a very clear understanding of what you do, what's the value that you provide, having a very good process that you kind of follow. I think that's so important, right? Having that process really dialed in my 13, 14 years doing this, I think that's so important. And it's what people and human beings are expecting, right? It's like transparency.
Yeah. As well as in the process, they get to learn and feel comfortable moving through while you're answering all the questions that they were looking for. The process gives people a level of comfort because if there was no process, even if the product that you hand them was good for them, it feels weird when it's in the first or possibly second meeting if you haven't done due diligence. So I know that when I give people the time, I always say like, look, let's talk for 2 meetings. I'll start to collect documents. And then and then each time we meet, I'll tell them like next time we meet, this will be the topic. And I just kept it short, 30-minute windows rather than just trying to do, one big meeting. I like having 4 or 5 little meetings to make sure, hey, did you forget anything from last time? Now we're talking about the investment process. And when we get to the end of the plan, it's always like, if you want to execute this, you can do it on your own, but here are the things you can do. I just think that makes people feel comfortable.
Having that prospect or that client really understand what you're doing, but most importantly, why, right? Like, I think there's so many times that I've been in so many proposals and it's like, hey, you just inherited $250,000. Well, great. Here's this managed account and here's what it's done. But it's like, are we really understanding what the client's goals are? Why are we walking them through this process to be able to get to what? So the more engaged that they are in the conversation, the better it is. Like the more engaged that they're going to be. And it makes the world of a difference.